Take me away on a flight of fancy, and let me forget all about the toils and troubles of modern life. Hi everybody, hello there, it's a hot one today. To say the least, in the studio it is around 36, maybe even 37 degrees. Outside, not quite as hot, but it is still quite warm today. Here in the birthplace of the English language, you know where it is, I know where it is, I think we all know where it is when you think about it for a moment. Yes, it's England. It is, everyone. It is England. And we are back together again. Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? Are you feeling happy today? I hope you are feeling good. Today I'm not feeling too bad, even though I have been suffering. In fact, I still am suffering from the dreaded seasonal allergies. Of course, I am talking hay fever. I'm suffering from the hay fever. I have been sneezing. My nose has been running. My eyes are so sore. Not only that, I don't know about you, but I am absolutely sick and tired of listening to politicians talking on the television. I can't bear to turn on the TV, especially the news. I really can't bear it at all. I have had enough. Fortunately, next week, next Thursday, we won't have to worry in this country because the general election is taking place next Thursday. So it will all be over for another 5 years. Although knowing the British government, it might be another 3 months when you think about it. If recent history is anything to go by. My name is Duncan, by the way. I talk about the English language. It's so hot. I can't even wear my hat. Very unusual. I'm not wearing my hat. It's very hot here in the studio. Thank you for joining me on this Wednesday. I know it is always a little bit strange during the week. Some people are busy, some people are working, and some people just don't want to watch. What do you mean that's the majority? How dare you? We are here again today. Lots of things to get through besides me complaining about my hay fever. We also have other things coming up as well. We are looking at words and phrases connected to an interesting subject. You might say today's live stream is a load of rubbish. Some people might say that there's nothing unusual about that, but they would be wrong, of course. Thank you for joining me today, and yes, we have made it all the way to Wednesday. We are coming towards the end of June as well. So on Sunday, it will be the last day of June. What an incredible month it has been. We have had the most amazing month. We went, of course, to Italy for a few days. We had the most wonderful time. I'm going to show you some photographs very quickly. So there I am in the place that we stayed at towards the end of our holiday, a beautiful region of Italy called Tuscany. And that is where we stayed. In fact, we stayed in a place called Chianti, the region, the wine region. And I'm sure you've heard of it as well. And I suppose I should mention the beautiful viewers we met during our time as well. We had the most amazing live stream in the centre of Rome. There you can see myself with Mr. Steve and all the other English addicts. You know who you are. So we had the most wonderful time, and if you are wondering, you can watch the live stream that we did in Rome. You can watch it again with captions. We had the most amazing time. So can I say a big thank you to all those who went to so much trouble, to a great deal of trouble, in fact, to meet up with us in Rome. Of course, next year we will be doing another one. There will be an English Addict Rendezvous next year. Where will it be? I don't know at the moment. Another thing we saw as well, we saw the most amazing festival take place in a city on a hill that we visited called San Gimignano. And we had the most amazing time watching this wonderful display. Would you like to see what happened? Okay. One of the many places we visited whilst in Italy, and that was a place called San Gimignano, and a wonderful place, and they had a big festival that took place whilst we were there. We didn't intend to go to see it, however we did see it, but not intentionally. So there is some information. We actually picked up this little guidebook as well, the Ferie del Mese, and this apparently is connected to the Harvest Festival that also happens at that time of year in Italy. And I was reliably informed that there are many of these festivals that take place around Italy during that particular time. But I have to say, it was the most amazing spectacle. When you see something that leaves a deep impression, you might describe it as a spectacle. Something you saw that leaves a deep impression on your memory and maybe even your heart. Mr. Steve got very emotional when we first arrived and we started watching some of the processions taking place. Steve got very emotional, and even now he doesn't know why. So there it was for those wondering what the festival was all about. And it did take place on the 14th, 15th and 16th of June. And apparently it happens every year. And this year it was the 30th anniversary of this particular thing taking place. And I have to say, it was incredible. The other thing to mention was that it was the harvest season as well. So actually it makes sense that they were celebrating the harvest festival, because the harvest was actually taking place in that area. There you can see some photographs I took during our time in Tuscany, and you can clearly see that the harvest has recently taken place. So there it was, the wonderful time we had in Tuscany, also in Rome. We visited Florence as well. We had the most amazing time. Thank you once again to those who met up with us. So here are all of the people who met up with us during our time in Rome, and you can see everyone is included there. You can see one of the meals we had, and that was during our first proper day when we went to the Colosseum and we met up with many of our lovely viewers, and then we met up again, and you can see there is Alessandra as well as everyone else, and then we were joined by other people as well, and it became quite a crowd. I will be honest with you, it did become quite a crowd. So thank you very much. You know who you are. For those who came, and quite a few people travelled a long distance to join us as well in Rome. So once again, thank you very much. We had the most amazing time, and we really did enjoy ourselves, I have to say. English Addict is with you today. English Addict is with you on Sunday from 2 p.m. UK time, and also on Wednesday, and that is what you are watching right now. There are new lessons appearing on my YouTube channel as well, almost every day. I've been so busy. Yesterday I was out filming at the back of the house, and that's one of the reasons why I was unwell yesterday with my allergy. So at this time of year, I will explain, the thing that I am sensitive to is actually the pollen from the grass. So all of the different types of grass that grows around here, I am sensitive to the pollen. And we do live in the middle of the countryside. So you can probably imagine there is a lot of grass pollen floating around in the air. So that is what I am sensitive to, besides other things. The other thing to mention as well, I did have a little accident during my time in Italy. Would you like to see the place where it happened? Because we went back and we actually took a photograph of the place where it occurred. So there it is. There is the scene of my little accident that I had. And I won't tell you how I did it, but let's just say I was doing some filming at the time. And you know what happens with me. I become so distracted when I'm doing my filming, and you can see the surface that I actually fell onto. Look at that. So now you can see why my injuries were so bad, because I fell onto that surface. Would you like to see my injuries? So if you are squeamish, if you don't like looking at blood, please look away right now. So that's what I did to myself. I managed to fall flat on my face, and Mr. Steve said he was very worried because it appeared as if I was unconscious for a short time. Of course I wasn't. I wasn't unconscious. I was not unconscious at any moment. So please don't worry about that. But Steve did think that I'd had a heart attack, but I hadn't. I'm perfectly 100% well, except my hay fever. And that's the only thing I have to worry about. Hello to the live chat. I haven't said hello to you. Wow, I've just realised. Hello Vitas, you are first on the live chat. Congratulations. Also we have Palmyra, we have Christina, we have Elizabeth, who is watching in Paris. Of course, that was the location last year for our rendezvous that we had in France. Also, Maria is here. Also, we have Mitra. Hello, Mitra. Where are you watching? Please let me know. The British Institute Roorkee is here. I have no idea what that refers to. If you want to tell us what your name actually means, please feel free to do so on the live chat. Hello, Alessandra. Oh, yes, there you are. Hello, Alessandra. It was an absolute pleasure meeting you and also your husband, Salvador, as well. It was absolutely wonderful. Maurizio is here. Hello, Maurizio. We met you as well whilst we were in Italy. It was a pleasure meeting you, and thank you once again for the lovely lift home. You gave us a little lift home on the day when I nearly collapsed from heat exhaustion. We also have Tanya. Hello, Tanya. It's nice to see you here as well. And once again, it was nice meeting you. Mosen is here. Please be careful, Mr. Duncan. Can I just let you in on a secret about my life? During my life, I have fallen over many times. And before you say anything, it has nothing to do with alcohol. I wasn't drunk, but I do sometimes fall over. And this is one of the problems if you are very tall. So when you met me in Rome, most of you said, Mr. Duncan, you are so tall, we didn't realise how tall you actually are. But one of the problems if you are tall, you will often fall over. You will lose your balance and fall over. So in my life, I have fallen over quite a lot for various reasons, but never because of alcohol. Never, ever. Just because my feet are very big and my body is very tall. That is the reason why. Christina Jackson, it was a shame we didn't meet Alessandra, but I was in trouble that evening. Christina, you gave us quite a shock. I won't say anything else. Your secret is safe with me. Jimmy is here. Jimmy from Hong Kong. Hello, Jimmy from Hong Kong. Learn Chinese is here, watching from China. Can I say a big ni hao to you watching in China? Of course, a country that I used to live in. I lived in China for many years, teaching English. Christina says, your balance is a little bit like the Tower of Pisa. You're right. The only difference is the building didn't fall over, but I did. And I seem to have a habit of doing it, which is not very good. Would you like to see something that is very British? Because a lot of people at the moment are talking about sport. Of course, we have football taking place. The Euro Championship is taking place. And also, at the weekend, Mr. Steve and myself, we noticed that once more they are playing cricket here in Much Wenlock. And there you can see them. So this was actually filmed last weekend whilst we were out walking. And you can see they are indeed playing cricket. So at this time of year, if you visit any village, you will often find people playing cricket. And there you can see them doing it. Oh, now I think that was a very good hit. I think the ball went quite a long way. In fact, you can see the batsmen. They are congratulating each other on a superb swing. By the way, I have no idea what I'm talking about. The other thing that people are talking about, besides football, is of course tennis, because next week it is the start of Wimbledon. It is English Addict, and there you can see us trying and failing to play tennis. I have to say, Mr. Steve and myself, we are not very good at sport, as you may have noticed, as you may have seen just a few moments ago. Today we are talking about rubbish. I know what you're going to say. You are going to say, Mr. Duncan, you talk nothing but rubbish. I couldn't possibly comment on that, to be honest. Giovanni is here. Hello, Giovanni. Once again, thank you for joining us also. And I suppose I should mention very briefly the food that we ate in Italy. Would you like to see one of the meals we had? This is Mr. Steve's lasagna. Would you like to see it? There it is now on the screen. If you think that particular lasagna looks delicious, I can tell you now, it was incredible. And I know we mentioned this on Sunday. I will mention it again briefly. We had the most amazing food during our time in Italy. It was absolutely incredible. I would recommend going to Italy just for the food. You don't even have to go and visit any of the ruins or any of the large buildings. You don't have to go anywhere. Just eat lots of Italian food. And I have to say, you will not be disappointed. We had the most amazing time. The other thing was Steve actually lost weight. Now, I don't know how that's possible because we did eat a lot of food. And I think also maybe I lost quite a lot of weight as well. So besides eating, we were also doing a lot of walking around, which might have something to do with it. Today we have an interesting subject to talk about, and I will talk about it right now. We are looking at rubbish. Words and phrases connected to the things we throw out, the things we throw away. Maybe something that is broken or doesn't work anymore. Maybe after you cook your food, maybe there is a lot of packaging that you have to throw away, or even the food itself. Maybe you have to throw the food away as well for various reasons. I know a lot of people do. They don't like to keep their food very long. So as soon as they cook the food and they eat the food, if there is anything left over, they won't keep it. They will throw it away. So it does happen. A lot of people do throw food away. So that is the theme of today's lesson. We are talking all about rubbish. And there you can see my big trash can. Or is it the rubbish can? We will find out in a few moments. First of all, I suppose I should mention there is a difference between these two words, trash or rubbish. Mr. Duncan, can you please tell us, is there a difference between the word trash and rubbish? Well, in fact, there are quite a few differences between these words. Quite often people will ask about the differences in the uses between American English and British English, and you would be right to do so because there are differences. For example, trash is used in American English. So quite often you will hear the word trash used when we talk about things that people are throwing away, things that people don't need anymore, things that people throw out, the things that they don't want. And as I mentioned a few moments ago, there are many different types of trash. So trash is often used in American English, whilst rubbish is often used in British English. So we will often use the term rubbish, the noun rubbish, to talk about the things we throw out, the things we don't want. In American English, they will often say trash. So there is a difference between those two words. In American English, you might also hear the word garbage used. You might also be fascinated to know that we do use it in British English as well. So quite often we will use garbage if we are referring to something that is not good or something that is terrible. We might say that something is garbage. So garbage is often used in American English besides trash. Here in British English we will use rubbish, but also we will sometimes use garbage as well when we are describing something that is not very good. For example, Mr. Duncan's live streams are garbage. Please don't say that, because I will cry a lot. The general word for unwanted waste is refuse. Now you might notice something very interesting about that particular word, because it does look like the word refuse, and that's because it is the same word. However, when we are talking about things we throw away, we use refuse. So we throw our rubbish out. We throw out the things that we don't want. The things we throw out are often referred to as refuse. The things that we don't want, the things we don't need. Household waste, such as rotten food and packaging, are often described as refuse. The things we don't want, the things we don't need, are described as refuse. So perhaps maybe that particular word could cause a little bit of confusion. Maybe it does sometimes. These days, much of the packaging is divided or separated for recycling. So it is common these days, when we are throwing things out, we will often divide them into different categories of refuse, especially things that can be recycled, such as glass, plastic, and also cardboard and paper. So it isn't unusual these days, even though some people think it is a waste of time, because apparently, and I didn't realise this until I did a little bit of research, and I found out that a lot of the things we throw out and we put aside as recycling are not recycled. They are still thrown away. Can you believe it? So I was quite surprised to hear that. The things thrown away are put into containers. So whenever we throw anything out, quite often we will put it into a certain type of container. You can see here the background for today's lesson is actually a container we can use to put our rubbish in. This particular type of container, and of course there are many others as well, can be described as a can, bin, receptacle. Now that's a very interesting word, because receptacle is a general term for anything that you can put something in. Container is another one. So you might put your recyclable material into a container. Also, there is another word called skip. So that is a skip, a very large container that is used for putting rubbish in. And finally, we have dumpster. I will show you more clearly what I mean. So there you can see a trash can. In American English, this particular thing will be referred to as a trash can. Trash can. However, in British English, we will often call this a dustbin. Trash can is in American English. Dustbin is British English. And as I mentioned a few moments ago, we have dumpster. Dumpster. It is a large container used for putting lots of big, heavy things into. Things that we can't lift or carry or take away by ourselves. Dumpster. So this particular term is often used in American English. You will often hear Americans, people living in the US, refer to this as a dumpster. Here in England, good old British English, we refer to this particular thing as a skip. So basically they are the same thing, but with a slightly different design. So here in British English, we will call this a skip. Skip. So there is a very subtle difference. Unwanted items such as old cars and washing machines are referred to as junk. Junk. Quite often things we throw out, normally large things or mechanical things that are no longer useful. Quite often things made of metal might be described as junk, or of course we can call it scrap as well. Another word we can use besides junk. The place where refuse is finally left is called a tip. So we can describe the place where all of the rubbish, all of the trash is taken to be permanently disposed of. We can call it a tip. Quite often in British English we will use the term tip. In American English quite often they will say dump. They will go to the dump. We will go to the tip. Although having said that, in British English we can often say dump as well. It can also be used for another reason as well. The word dump is a slang term for going for a poo-poo. It's true, I'm not joking. So in British English, when we say that we are going for a dump, it doesn't mean we are going to visit the tip. It means something quite different. A recycling depot will deal with the items that can be reused. Things that can be reused, things that can be used again, recycled. Quite often we talk about plastic. So these days many people are concerned about the way in which plastic is produced and used and disposed of. So you might say that plastic is one of the big problems when it comes to environmental issues. A lot of people, of course, are very concerned about that. We have some phrases now. Would you like to see some phrases connected to rubbish and trash? Here's our first one. You take out the trash. If you take out the trash, this can be used as a phrase to mean dispose of an unwanted thing. Maybe a person who is staying in your house and you kick them out. You might say that you are taking out the trash. You are removing something that is unwanted. You take out the trash. Quite often used in American English. Here's another phrase. This particular phrase is often used in British English. We use it quite often. Something is a load of rubbish. When we describe something as a load of rubbish, we mean a terrible thing or something that has been done badly. So maybe you go along to see a show or a performance, but it is terrible. It is being done so badly, so dreadfully. It is awful. You might describe that thing as a load of rubbish, something that is of poor quality or not very good or not very well done can be described as a load of rubbish. Here's another one for those who love those phrases. To bin something. If you bin something, and I suppose in a way we are using this as a phrasal verb, to bin something means you are throwing something away. To discard a thing or an item is to bin that thing. You are throwing it away. You might have an old pair of socks that have worn and now they are full of holes. You might have to bin them. You bin your socks. You throw them away because they are no longer useful. I don't know why I seem to always get through many socks. I don't know why. Here's another phrase. In fact, we have phrases we can use in general terms. You can throw away something. If you throw away something, it means you are throwing it out. You are getting rid of it. It is something that is useless to you, so you throw it away. You throw away your old food, your old packaging, your old clothes. You might throw away your clothes. And then, of course, you can throw out something. If you throw out something, it means you are, once again, disposing of that thing. In British English, we might say chuck out. If you chuck out something, it means you are throwing it away. You are disposing of that thing. So quite often in British English, you will hear people say, I must chuck that out. It needs to be chucked out. It needs to be thrown away. I will have to throw away my old socks. Quite a few phrases that we can use. We can cast out something. We can dump something. We can discard something. To discard means to push aside or to get rid of that thing, to throw it away. You discard that particular thing. The word dump, I did give you one definition a few moments ago, a rather rude one. The word dump is a noun and a verb. And also trash and rubbish can also be used as nouns and verbs. So it is interesting to note that the word dump can be the place where you dispose of your rubbish, or it can be dropping something, discarding something, the action of disposing of an item is dump. You might dump your girlfriend because she has been unfaithful. she has been seeing that boy from down the road in secret. You might dump your boyfriend because he has been seeing the girl who lives down the road, or the boy for that matter. So the word dump can be used as both a noun and a verb. The word trash as a noun or verb. A person might trash your house. So we can use the word trash as a noun but also as a verb. So if someone breaks into your house and they destroy everything inside the house, they vandalize the house, we can say that those people have trashed your house. To trash something means to damage or cause damage to a certain thing. You vandalize something. You trash something. The word rubbish, as I said a few moments ago, can also be used as a noun and a verb. A person might rubbish your plan or idea. So if a person tries to rubbish a thing that you've said or suggested, it means they are criticizing it. They are trying to criticize the thing that you have said or the idea that you have. They rubbish that thing. So in that sense, we are using the word rubbish as a verb. Finally, a useless thing can be described as a piece of junk. Quite often something that doesn't work anymore, or maybe something that looks old and worn out. Maybe you have a car that still works, but it looks old and damaged and rusty. You might describe that car as a piece of junk. What a piece of junk! Are you really going to drive that? What a piece of junk! For example, an old rusty car might be described as a piece of junk, something that is no good, something that is useless, or something that is old and worn out can be described as a piece of junk. And that is our list of words and phrases connected to rubbish or trash. Don't forget, trash is often used in American English. Rubbish is often used in British English. So there are many ways of describing all of the things we throw away. I would imagine today, at some point, maybe this morning or perhaps later in the day, you will throw something away. I did this morning. I had to throw something away. I had to throw some packaging outside to be collected next week for the recycling. So I would say that it is something that we all have in common. We all have something we throw away. We all have something that we have to throw out. We have something we have to dispose of. We all have rubbish around us. Giovanni says, please survive until next year. I think I may have missed something on the live chat. So sometimes when the live chat is moving, sometimes I do miss parts of the conversation. So maybe there is something that I missed out there. I wonder. But I hope we will all survive until next year. Even though we are living in very strange times, you may have noticed things are a little weird in the world. This time next week I will be very happy because we will be just one day away from the general election here in the UK. As I said at the start of today's live stream, I am absolutely fed up, sick and tired of hearing about the election. Really, it drives me completely mad, completely round the bend. Something can drive you round the bend. It makes you feel crazy, something that you don't want to listen to anymore, something you don't want to hear. It can drive you round the bend or round the twist as well. Did I see? Oh, hello, hello. You are late, but at least you are here. Luis Mendez. He's here today. You see, I didn't notice you appear today, Luis. I didn't notice because I was so busy talking about rubbish. Some people say that that's all I ever talk about. Tomorrow there will be a new lesson, by the way. Tomorrow, a new lesson all about a thing we do, all of us do, especially when it is hot. That is coming tomorrow, hopefully. In just a couple of weeks, the Paris Olympics will be beginning. Now that is very interesting because I saw an interesting report last week. I read it on the internet whilst in Italy, and I noticed that they are talking about the pollution at the moment in the River Seine, because apparently they want to do some of the competitions, some of the contests in the water, the swimming contests, of course. Not running, because you can't run in water. It's very hard. You can run water, but you can't run in the water. It is very difficult. So apparently they are slightly concerned in Paris at the moment because there is a lot of pollution in the River Seine, and they think now perhaps they might have to postpone all of the swimming events as the Olympic Games begin. Hello, Planète Jeune-Fille Expat Coach. That is a very interesting name, by the way. Why don't you talk about litter and litter box? Litter is an interesting one because we can use it in American English and British English. So you might find the word litter, L-I-T-T-E-R, is also used as a noun and a verb. The thing that you throw away is litter, but also the action of throwing something away is litter. You might litter the streets with your rubbish because you keep throwing it away like that. Litter box. Litter box. Now that is an interesting phrase. Litter box is a thing that we often use when we get a new animal in the house. Now you know what it is like if you buy a small puppy or a little cat. Quite often they will do their wee-wees and their poop-poops on your carpet or on the floor in your house. So you have to train them to use a special thing called a litter box. Litter box. So a thing that the animal will go to and they will do their wee-wees and their poo-poops on the litter box instead of your carpet, which can be quite annoying to say the least. I will be going in a few moments. Thank you very much for your company. I am back with you on Sunday. Don't forget, Sunday I am here. How can I break the news to you? I don't think Mr. Steve will be with us on the live stream this Sunday. However, there is good news because we are going to Bristol on Saturday to see Beatrice. So we might do a live stream on Saturday. We might, if we have time. So we are going to be in Bristol on Saturday with Beatrice. So if we have time, and if I can find a suitable place to do it, and if we have a good signal, we will do a live stream in Bristol on Saturday. Does that sound like a good idea? Because then we will have the chance to see Mr. Steve. But it looks at the moment as if Steve will not be with us on Sunday, unfortunately. Anyway, we are looking forward to being in Bristol, to seeing Beatrice, and hopefully we will be with you as well on the live stream. Something extra to look forward to. Thank you very much for your company. I hope you've enjoyed this. You can, of course, watch this again. There will be captions later, and you will be able to watch this as many times as you like. Thank you very much for your company. I hope this has been useful. I have been talking all about rubbish today. But what about the live stream? Did you like it? I hope you did. And if so, please give me a lovely like to show that you liked my live stream. Thank you very much for watching. It is time to go. I don't like to go. I wish I could stay here all afternoon. But sadly, I have other things to do. I am very busy at the moment making new lessons. That's all I'm saying. I have something special planned for July, because July will be here next week. Also next week, besides the general election, we have Mr. Duncan going to the dentist. Unfortunately, I have an appointment next week for the dentist. And to be honest with you, can I be honest? I don't like going to the dentist. And I know we do have dentists watching our live streams. Claudia, I know you're watching, and you are a person who is involved with people's teeth, but I don't like going to the dentist. So next week I will be going to the dentist. I am not looking forward to that. Thank you very much for your company. See you soon. Take care of yourselves. And of course, until the next time we meet here, you know what's coming next. Until the next time we are all here together on the live stream. Take care of yourselves. Stay happy. Stay cool. If you are at the moment experiencing some of this crazy heat that's happening, please stay cool. And of course, until the next time we meet, you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. Take care of yourself. Keep that smile upon your face as you walk amongst the human race. And of course, see you on Sunday, maybe Saturday as well. Live. Yes, it's true. Ta-ta for now. Thank you very much for watching.